Hello, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Grant. And today we're going to be talking about John Carpenter, his filmography, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about the Halloween series. So, Tyler, where would you like to start with the discussion?
Let's discuss John Carpenter.
Discuss John Carpenter. He's one of, I think it's fair to say, one of our favorite directors.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. I love Halloween.
Big fan of him. If you don't know who he is, he's a cult filmmaker. He was, I would say, in his heyday. His heyday was in the late 70s and the majority of the 1980s. He was mostly known for horror films, but he also made sci-fi, action, and thriller films. His style was very unique, and I can't really think of any other director that made movies like him. And I really just loved his style, and he really revolutionized the industry with Halloween in 1978. Right?
I still find it amazing how he was able to pull off a film with a $300,000
budget.
$300,000 budget and make it
$300 million. That would be
$300 million would be
back
like,
then. Oh my God,
that would be like, I don't even know.
That's like more than like.
That would be like an Avatar.
That's like an Avatar. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I know.
insane. But it did. Yeah, it was like a $300,000 budget, back then that was.
That was very very small.
That was very
small.
Today it's even smaller. It's still recording. Today it's even smaller, but it really is incredible how well made that film is. Because the thing is, even though it was
and
made,
I mean, like, it was. I wouldn't just say Carpenter. Dean Cundy, who was the cinematographer,
the DP,
was, amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
The
shot where Laurie just finds out, discovers all the bodies, she's terrified, and then Michael's lurking in the shadows. He comes out. All of a sudden, you just see his face. That's absolutely perfect.
That was great.
Yeah,
and I really like how, even though it's a cheaply made movie, it doesn't look cheap at all. Like it looks it looks like a high production value movie. Like considering, it's also got an incredible cast. Donald Pleasance, one of the all-time, I would say one of the all-time great movie actors.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Definitely. Young Jamie Lee Curtis, how she was like 19 when this movie came out.
Yeah, this was her acting debut.
Daughter of Janet Leigh and Tony Curtis. Who in Janet Leigh, if you don't know, played
Marion Crane in Psycho.
Marion Crane in the original Psycho. So it's kind of like a passing of the torch from mother to daughter. It's very symbolic. That's one of the reasons why Carpenter chose her, actually, for the film.
I still find it amazing, too, how Carpenter, and at the time his girlfriend Deborah Hill, they picked out actors and actresses just based off of, like, if you auditioned, basically, you probably got the part. They didn't really, look for very specific things.
No.
Like, they just picked out, you would be a good teenager. I think you could pull it off.
Kind of, which, that sounds kind of lazy, but it really isn't. They let them really experiment and explore themselves, and they let them kind of just be themselves on the screen. I really liked the girl. I can't remember her name. I just know it was Laurie's blonde friend. I really liked her.
Linda.
The girl was like totally.
PJ Souls, yeah.
Totally, yeah, like that girl.
Yeah.
She was great. I really liked the guy who played Michael Myers. I think Nick Castle.
Nick Castle. He defined that part. He is the best Myers by far.
He really, the way he moves and the way he just lurks around the corner and sidesteps and the way he raises his hand when he stabs with the knife is so chilling. I mean, it's really just, he's not just moving slowly.
If you had to pick a favorite scene in the movie.
Favorite scene in the movie? I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but I'm going to say one of my favorite scenes, actually, it's really early on. It's when Laurie's baby, the kid that Laurie's babysitting, he's getting out of school. He has a pumpkin, and the kids break the pumpkin, and then after he picks up the pumpkin, he picks up the pieces of the pumpkin, and he's walking along the fence, and then you just see Michael right by the fence, and you see the music cue, and I just
of the music,
love that.
His
music's incredible.
Amazing. I still, to this day, I don't get scared, of course, but I absolutely adore the theme where after Laurie discovers the bodies, how he's
it gives me goosebumps.
It is very tingly.
It's very, it's really
The stalking theme's amazing.
It's insane, and it's really insane how much work he did, because John Carpenter, if you don't know, he wrote, directed, produced, and scored the film's score, the musical score. So I mean, that's insane. I mean, like, the fact that he did all that, and also he did all that masterfully.
Yeah.
And I just absolutely loved it, and yeah, Halloween, great film. And
if I were to choose my favorite scene,
if you were to choose your favorite scene, yeah.
Okay.
I would like to hear what's your favorite scene.
I think my favorite scene, and I'm entering spoiler territory, so be warned.
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. My favorite scene is Bob's death.
Bob's death?
Bob's death.
But when he
gets pinned up, when Michael comes out of the closet.
That's an incredible scene.
He picks up Bob, puts him against
the wall.
In the kitchen, and he gets
puts the knife and he sticks him. And
I mean, like, I watched a documentary about the original Halloween.
Yeah.
And it literally stated that two people were the actor who played Bob stated that two people were holding him up during that scene.
Oh yeah.
And I still find it amazing.
You don't even see that.
I know, you don't even see it. It's like they literally probably just cut it out. But
yeah.
I still find it amazing how they shot that scene. The lighting too was amazing. I would say that's my favorite scene besides the scene where Laurie discovers the bodies.
The bodies, that's a great.
He comes out of the shadows, and that whole chase scene up till the end is flawless.
Yeah. I also like how after he kills Bob, he because the thing is, because Michael is pretty much, even though he's an adult, he's like in his early 20s. He's basically a child. He basically has the mind.
People have different opinions about
he has like a mind. Well, yeah, because he was incarcerated when he was very young.
Yeah, I know.
Because at the very beginning of the film, he kills his sister, and he was like, what, 8? He couldn't have been older than like 8 years old.
I think 6 to 8.
6 to 8. So he was locked in a penitentiary, no education. Mm-hmm. So he pretty much has the mind of a child. And after, I love this part. I think it just shows so much about his character that right after he stabs Bob, and Bob's body's, in the wall, on the wall with the knife through his chest. And Michael just looks up and down, and he looks like, and he turns his head
like a dog.
He turns his head like a confused puppy, and it's like,
he's like, did I really just do that?
It makes you think. Like, does he even know what he's doing? Does he even realize the consequences of his actions? Like, is he really a bloodthirsty killer, or is he just misunderstood?
How are we forgetting this scene though? I just remembered another scene.
Yeah.
Donald Pleasance's speech.
Oh yeah.
As Dr. Loomis.
That's incredible too.
The sheriff.
To Brackett. The sheriff. Oh yeah, he has. I can't remember the quote. What was it like?
He's purely and
he's pure evil. He's actually kind of like, he reminds
Blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
The devil's eyes. He actually reminds me a lot of the Terminator, because he's like, he's just unstoppable. You can't reason with him. He always keeps getting back up. That's pretty much.
But that was the first, though, I think.
It was first. No, Halloween was first. Halloween was like 6 years.
No, I'm saying like the first for like a killer that would never die.
Yeah,
that was like immortal.
Oh yeah, because like every other movie, like in every other horror movie up to that point, like pretty much always the monster died. Like
he would get caught.
Or
like
you get
Psycho
caught.
Got caught.
Yeah, in Psycho he got caught. Or in like pretty much every Dracula movie, Dracula gets defeated. Or Frankenstein, he gets defeated. This is the one. This was one of the first horror movies where the villain gets away. I mean, he doesn't get caught and he doesn't die, and it's. The ending. I love the ending. Absolutely.
I still remember. I think.
Love the ending to death.
According to one of the.
I think the ending is the scariest part of the film. Honestly.
Yeah, I know, because he could be anywhere.
He could be anywhere,
and that's what scares most of the audience. He could be like anywhere.
This is obviously spoiler territory, but he shoots. Dr. Loomis shoots Michael, I think six times. 6 times in the chest.
I shot him 6 times.
He shot him 6 times and he won't die. But he shoots him 6 times and he falls off the railing, falls off the balcony. And then he goes to Laurie, sees if she's okay, looks back, he's gone.
He's like,
and
what's
then
the boogeyman?
It just shows, and then it just has a shot of the house and you hear breathing. And it's Michael, and he just shows different shots. It shows different shots of where he was in the movie, previous locations, and he's breathing heavily. And it's like he could be anywhere. He could be anywhere. It's insane.
I remember, according to the documentary that I saw about this film.
I think I might have saw the same documentary.
It's called Halloween. think it's I forgot what it was. Forgot what the name was. It was just a Halloween documentary. You can probably YouTube it too.
I think I found it. I think I know what you're talking
Anyway,
about.
so what it's
Was it relatively recently made?
Yeah, I think it was like 2011 or something.
2011. Oh yeah, no, I saw the exact. Well, it was a TV documentary.
Yeah,
right?
no,
Yeah, I saw it.
I think it was on like PBS or something.
Oh yeah, I saw it. It was like Behind the Terror or something. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was a good one.
Anyway, so I think Carpenter even said that. What's his name? During the scene where he looks off the balcony and he sees that Michael's gone, Carpenter said that what's his name? Donald Pleasance came up to him and he's like, okay, there's two ways that I could do this: act surprised or act like
I knew this would happen.
Yeah. And he's just like Carpenter was like, well, I don't really know. You could do whatever you want, but I think maybe try to do both. Try to incorporate both.
Shot both.
And that's what shows in his thing. He's like, I knew this would happen, but maybe I remember he was like kind of like that, and he was like, I knew this would happen.
Okay, so I think we both agree Halloween 10 out of 10 masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
One of I don't think honestly one of the greatest movies ever. I would say.
I would say top. That's my favorite horror movie of all time.
I would say top. I'm going to say top 200 greatest films. I don't know about top 100, but definitely top 200.
Yeah.
Definitely top 200. Definitely top like 20 horror movies.
Oh yeah. That's why I still recommend doing this every Halloween. Watch it.
Yeah, it's great.